There are more Americans in jail today than ever before. Even more alarming is that 2 to 3 times as many inmates suffer from a severe mental disorder compared to the general population. We found out there's one group that's helping people in law enforcement understand what it's like to suffer from mental illness.
What do you have to say for yourself, huh? What?
These are the voices that Chris Lopez is hearing.
Very tormenting. You can't focus. I mean, just trying to hear what Tina was telling me, and at the same time hearing these voices that are telling me that I stink and I'm awful, and it's just tormenting. You can't focus.
Lopez isn't mentally ill. The voices are not in his head. They're in his headphones. He's a juvenile probation officer and part of a group learning more about mental illness. This through a workshop put on by the Interagency Forensic Network.
Please start reading that. You'll have 5 minutes to complete that.
Jim Johnson runs the workshop and says it's a way to raise awareness and compassion about mental illness.
They know they can take the voices off and go about their business, but people that are hearing voices don't have that luxury. The benefit of this is it lets people know what it's like to hear voices and try to conduct a life as normally as you possibly can.
Participants are given simple tasks to perform while listening to those voices. Chris Lopez says it made a simple conversation with another officer about firearms policy nerve-wracking.
Right about then is when the voices started telling me that I stunk and I was worthless, and I felt myself starting to sweat, and I was getting a little giddy, and I just kept laughing, and he was still trying to explain the policy to me, and by that point I wasn't getting any of it. I was just hearing these voices and just being really, really self-conscious of the way I looked and the way I smelled.
This group is relieved to take the headphones off and stop the voices, but not before learning an important lesson that will change the way they do their jobs.
If a client that I'm working with is hearing voices, being able to be more sensitive to what they're struggling with, what they're dealing with.
Knowing they can't stop the voices, they have to learn to live with them. Now, the workshop was developed by a woman who is a voice hearer. She developed some coping skills and then decided to pursue a career as a clinical psychologist.